first and foremost, the immediate plan is to focus back on my first love, which is the F&B business. I think in a really challenging environment, there's a lot more things to do. We probably need to look at streamlining our operations, revamping some of the stores, and basically refreshing something that's about almost 6 years old. The F&B business is always known to be tough. I mean, you either make it or break it, and even for us, we've learned that you would think that we know what we're doing, but we still make mistakes, and there's still things that we have to constantly tweak. So it's such a dynamic business that it's constantly evolving. And as a result, it needs that same amount of attention to detail, to stay ahead of the game. I think my father said, quite rightly so, that there's only 24 hours a day, and there's only so much you can pay attention to certain things. And the thing is, on a personal side, as things evolve, you have less time. It's not saying that I'm abandoning my business, because it still provides a living for all of us. It's actually trying to find a little bit more balance. One thing I've learned after being in the business for 13 years, I think, is that I have too many ideas. Too many. And my team would tell you I have too many ideas. And the challenging part is actually cultivating that idea and following through to ensure that it's good. You know what I mean? I think that's a very clear case of the supermarket. I think that started off as an idea, but I was very lucky that we found ourselves a very, very dedicated team to help execute those ideas. Because I always tell my team, guys, ideas are a dime a dozen, but until it's executed well, it just is an idea. And actually, a good idea that's executed badly is a bad idea, because people don't get it. Even though, yeah, I may be an ideas person, and I do love the challenge of thinking and dreaming up of new things. I think I'm entering a phase in my life where I want to probably focus and hone on good ideas and making good ideas great. As your company grows, then it becomes that group of people you're responsible for. And today we have 600 over people that technically I'm responsible for. So I'm probably not as rash as before, and I try to slow down and think it through a little bit. There's nothing as bad as no progress, no decision. When something is in limbo, that's the worst possible scenario that I feel any business or any person can be in. So at some point, a decision needs to be made, good or bad, right or wrong. You need to go, And I think that's quite interesting about age. Is that it's true, as you get older, you tend to hesitate a little bit more, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. If everybody lived with fear, there will be no progress, and there will be no new ideas, and there will be no innovation, so to speak. Once you reach that decision, you have to live by it. So I think I may mope about it for about a week, and then it's time to let go. You know what I mean? And I think with the sale of the supermarket, what's interesting is that it's a bittersweet decision, because I also recognize the fact that for the business to grow, I would actually be in its way. Whereas, if you give it to a team of professionals, they have the know-how and the means to expand its full potential. So I think it's probably a lot more assuring to know that it is in good hands. It's actually really quite amazing to find somebody, a spouse that shares that same kind of drive and creative process. Being an entrepreneur or a creative crazy one, sometimes it's a little bit lonely when it's not that you're not surrounded with people, but if people don't understand what you're talking about, after a while you stop talking about it, because you kind of think, oh God, they think I'm crazy. So I think having somebody who understands, and on top of understanding, actually nurtures it and encourages it, kind of has led me to think differently, and probably given me a lot more confidence, to kind of run through some ideas, good or bad. It's always great to have a sounding board. So I think with the two of us, we have that with each other. We're both really, really quite lucky that we have parents that allowed us to pick our own career. I mean, even though they're entrepreneurs in their own right, there was none of this, you must do this to do this, you must join the family business, you must do retail, you must do it. There was none of this. I think we were led to believe we could do anything we wished to pursue, as long as we loved it and we did it well. I think that was what they asked of us, and I think that's something that we'll try and consciously apply to to the kids that they are entitled to do whatever they wish to pursue. I think one of the things that we both enjoyed tremendously, and I think we're both very privileged to enjoy it, was that we were exposed from a very young age from traveling and meeting people and like you say, talking about the business, the good and the bad side of things. And I think, hopefully we'll provide the same insight for the kids. I think at the moment our primary objective is that they grow up happy and good people. That's what we hope anyway.